Do you want to retire comfortably? Are you worried that Social Security might not be enough? Are you starting a new job and they're offering a 401k? This video is going to talk about 401ks and give a general overview of what they are and how to contribute and all those basic details. So stay tuned. All right, so a 401k is a tax advantaged retirement account. What that means is that you're going to contribute money into this account before you're taxed on it. And that money gets deducted from your taxable income. Usually, employers will take this money directly out of your paycheck and put it into your 401k account. There's investment options are usually like mutual funds or target date funds or things like that. I'm not going to get into those details in this video, but there's all kinds of funds. A lot of them are based on your age, and usually they're low cost funds. And the deductions will look just like any other deductions on your check. So you can think of your taxes or your health insurance and things like that. So the big benefits are, we talked about being tax deferred, right? You're not taxed on the money up front. And when it sits in this account and grows, you're not taxed while it's growing either. So it just keeps compounding and compounding, and you're not paying on that. And then the biggest benefit for most people is that a lot of times employers will match up to a certain percentage of your total salary. So some employers might match 2%, 3%, 5%. 5% is fantastic. And so what that means is when you contribute, let's say $100, and let's say they contribute 50% of what you contribute up to 5%. So they might contribute $50. So now you get $150. And then there's a cap. And then once it reaches the cap of your total 3% or 5% of your salary, then they stop contributing. So every employer has different rules, but this is essentially free money. And that's one of the that's one of the big advantages for employees, is to at least take advantage of the free money. So you want to deduct as much money as you can to get the match, right? The drawbacks of a 401k, there's some drawbacks. Number one, the money is locked up, right? So once you put the money in a 401k, you cannot access that money until you're 59 and a half, unless you want to pay some heavy penalties that are you don't want to pay those penalties. So that money's locked up. It's usually like 10% early or something like that. I'm not a financial advisor. Those are what the penalties are. 401k plans and some of the investment options are going to have fees and things like that. So that's another drawback. And you're also limited in the investment options. There's mutual funds, there's REITs, which are real estate. There are a lot of options, but the government controls what things are allowed, right? So some things to know about it is, number one, there are limits to how much money you can contribute. And that limit changes potentially every year. So 2025, which is when this video is being made, the limit is $23,500. Now, if you're over 50, you can do an additional, what they call a catch-up contribution, which is $7,500 on top of that. And now, if you're between 60 and 63, you can do what they call a super catch-up, which is an additional $11,250 on top of that. So that's really great. And those limits apply to how much the employee contributes. There's different limits, which are the total with the employer and the employee combined. And then whenever you withdraw this money, I think we talked about this, but you're taxed on it like ordinary income. But the thing is that when you're retired, your income is typically going to be less than when you're working. And so you can also control how much you withdraw so that you can control how much income you have and then control your tax bracket. So if you're just starting out, the main thing is just to get started. Okay. If your employer offers a 401k, you definitely want to get started. Okay. The earlier you start, the better. Okay. I'm going to show a graphic between a 22-year-old and a 30-year-old with the same numbers. And it's amazing the difference. If you start when you're 22 in this scenario, when you're 65, you're going to have $2.5 million. If you wait till you're 30, you're only going to have 1.4 million, but only. It makes a big difference. Time is a big component of your 401k. The longer your money compounds, the more money you're going to have. So you definitely want to get started, and you definitely want to we talked about the employer match. You want to get started. You don't just leave that money there. If the employer is offering it, you want to get involved so you can take advantage of it. If you can't afford to put the cap, right, the 23,000, not everybody makes that money. Maybe you only make 23,000. You do whatever in order to take advantage of the cap or the match, a small amount. Even if you're doing the minimum you can afford, at least you're doing something and you're getting that compounding starting. Okay. If you have questions, you can a tax advisor or tax specialist, investment professional. They can help you like choose your investments, things like that based off your personal situation. So let's review a few of the things. So it's important to take advantage of employee sponsored plans. All right. There's free money there that you should be taking advantage of. All right. Start as early as possible. I cannot emphasize enough. The compound interest over time makes a huge difference. All right. Remember the graphic that I showed, and I'll show it again. All right. So go out there, get started, start contributing today. If you're eligible, I definitely want to encourage you to get started on your 401k. And if this video is helpful to you, I really would appreciate if you leave me a like, comment. Have you started on your 401k? I'm also going to leave some links. I'll leave a link to the calculator that I used when I showed that graphic. And if you want to subscribe, that would be fantastic too. Always love it when people subscribe, and you can count on me to post some more videos about financial topics. And I thank you for watching, and have a great day.